Do you have organized thoughts? Yes, you. Do you have organized thoughts? Welcome to Anne's Wonderful Words of Wisdom on Wednesday. And my question for you today is this: do you have organized thoughts? You know, I'm often talking about the book Think and Grow Rich and the principle of organized planning. But as I began to study this principle more and more of organized planning, and just as a refresh, Napoleon Hill tells us that everything that we've acquired and desired is achieved through this journey, if you will, of the imagination and plans. And these plans are transmuted through organized planning, if you will, into our desires. Our desires and the plans are connected. And that we should have a mastermind group of accountability in order to vet those plans. But then, as I continue to read and as I continue to work on myself and my plans to participate in our mid-year for the International Association for Think and Grow Rich, this is planning on the 11th of July, I made a commitment to memorize a quote. And not just to memorize the quote, but I have my granddaughter in the back seat as I'm taking her to camp every day, and I have her help me to recite and check on me about these quotes. But then I also have her to research why the quote was written by whoever the author of the quote was. And I came upon this quote by William Ellery Channing. And he said, secret study, silent thought is, after all, the mightiest agent of human affairs. Now, he went on to say that, and this is written back in the day, that we should always carry a pen and pencil around us to write down our thoughts. Now, Woodrow Wilson shared this quote. This is my quote for the week, for the day during this week. But he says, thought cannot conceive of anything that may not be brought to expression. And he goes on to say, though, which is interesting, that he who first had the thought may be only the suggester of the thought, but the doer of the thought may appear. Now, why am I sharing this today of all days? It's because as I begin to think about my own organized planning for every single area of my life, the spiritual, the family, the financial, the health, the education, the personal development, my businesses, my recreation, my creativity, and my civic, and preparation to give an account for my life, for every area of my life at our mid-year Think and Grow Rich meeting, I began to realize it all starts with thoughts. You see, we can talk about organized planning for your business and your life, but can we really get to the plans before having the thought? Hmm, I don't think so. I think that as we begin to uh, as we begin this journey, if you will, to have a better quality of life in every single area of our life, it really starts with your thoughts. What are you thinking? And I read this quote from today, and I have to, this is my self-confidence formula that I write each day. And at the end of my self-confidence formula, I actually write a quote that I want to be mindful of for the day. And the quote today actually deals with this quote from another William Ellery Channing, a different person who said, great minds are to make others great. Great minds are to make others great. And my question as I wrap this up with you today is, are you making others great in whatever you're doing? Is it your service? Is it your speaking? Is it your work? Is it your profession, your business? Whatever it is, are you desiring to make others great in the spirit of service? It all starts with our thoughts. Now, we've heard that thoughts are things, airy wings that they have. But what are you thinking about? A few weeks ago, I did an Ant's Wonderful Words of Wisdom on thoughts. And the more I started thinking about my own thoughts, I realized that I needed to schedule thinking time. That's what we're talking about today. Are you willing to schedule thinking time for your thoughts? I do what I call a daily date with myself, and I've talked about that often, but to actually sit with a pen, not a computer, no, no, no typing. I love what Judy Cameron talks about in her book, The Artist's Way. You know, when you can really put that pen to the paper. And she calls her exercises morning pages. I read that phenomenal book years ago and I started doing her exercises, 3 pages a day. From that exercise from Julia Cameron, I created my own process, which I call my McNeil Factor daily date with myself, which includes not just the 3 pages, but 10 things that I want the universe to give me in terms of ideas and opportunities. And 2 things, at least, that I'm thankful and grateful for. A couple of things that are desires of my heart that have been delivered to me. And I'm thankful for those. And I say thank you in the form of gratitude. But what about you? Who's holding you accountable for your thoughts? And if you're saying, well, listen, I am McNeil, I hold myself accountable. Good luck with that. How's that working out for you? I have accountability buddies, I have accountability groups, and I help other people start their own mastermind accountability group. But today, I really want to encourage you to think about what time do you dedicate to thinking the thoughts that will revolutionize your life, your ideas, and your future. So let me just wrap up. Again, I want to go back to the quote. Woodrow Wilson's quote, thought cannot conceive of anything that may not be brought to expression. And be mindful that the person who had the thoughts may not be the person who actually delivered the manifestation of that thought. My favorite for today, though, is secret study. You see, secret study and silent thought is, after all, the mightiest the mightiest agent of human affairs. Secret thought is, after all, the mightiest agent of human affairs. And that was William Ellery Channing. I want to encourage you to think about, what are you thinking about? What time do you give yourself to think and really have meditative, quiet time to just be in thought about your health, which is your wealth, and anything else that's most important to you. Welcome to Ant's Wonderful Words of Wisdom on Wednesday, and I'll wrap up by encouraging you to schedule some time with yourself, preferably early in the morning, and really think about your thoughts as a part of having organized thoughts prior to having organized plans. All right, so until next time, remember to continue to think and grow richer. Remember also to niche to be richer and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ann McNeil on YouTube, and click the notification bell so we can ensure that you get everything that we're sharing with the world to elevate your thinking. All right, see you next time. Have a great day.